What's going on, guys? Rock here. Welcome to day number 28 in my countdown to Modern Warfare 3. Glad to have you aboard. Let's get right into it, shall we? Today I'm playing a little Wrld at War, and I thought today's video would be quite appropriate, seeming that Wrld at War was totally dominated by submachine guns. You almost always got killed by an MP40. I'm using a Thompson submachine gun, which was my favorite submachine gun in Wrld at War, and today I'm talking about SMGs, the submachine guns for Modern Warfare 3. So let's get right into the list of SMGs you will be using this November. First up on the list is everyone's favorite, the MP5. It is back, and it is supposed to be the Call of Duty 4 version of the MP5. Well, unfortunately, I have some bad news for you. It's not exactly like the MP5 from Call of Duty 4. It's similar, but it's not. It's still a totally different weapon. The skin of it looks the same. You know, the damage may be about the same, but it's still a totally different weapon. Your attachment list for the MP5 is going to be a traditional red dot sight, which is going to be very customizable. You're going to be able to put different types of dots in the red dot. It's not necessarily going to be just a single dot, but it's not going to be the type of customization you're used to in Black Ops. You're also going to have the choice of a holographic sight, a suppressor, the grip, rapid fire is making a return, and then something brand new, the HAMR scope. And what that is a type of optical attachment that you can toggle back and forth between a type of red dot sight that's not exactly like your traditional red dot and a 3x magnifier. This is the one you saw in the trailer where they flip the sight back and forth, and you'll basically have two different types of sights in one. So that is the HAMR, and that is your attachment list for the MP5. Now, it is rumored that the MP5K is also in Modern Warfare 3. I have to say, I have not seen it, okay? It was not available to be played. It was not on the list for the custom classes at COD XP, but supposedly it's probably in the single player. So look to see the MP5K possibly in the single player campaign as well. Next up is the UMP45, or some folks like to call it the UMP. It is returning. It is basically your same weapon from Modern Warfare 2 with a little slight nerfing. They changed the damage at range drastically on the UMP. I used it a lot at COD XP when I played, and I can definitely tell you, if you got somebody that's at a pretty far distance, you're not going to be very accurate with it. Up close and personal, it will drop somebody like a bad habit, but at a range, the UMP is going to be a tricky dog to use. It's going to be quite tough. Your attachment list for it is the rapid fire, suppressor, red dot sight, and the HAMR scope, and that's going to be it. Very limited amount of attachments shown available for the UMP45. I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as its Modern Warfare 2 counterpart. I definitely used it quite well, and it's a great weapon, but don't count it out just yet. Don't call it OP until you actually get your hands on it. And let's see what the rest of the SMGs are actually like compared to it. Next up, we've got a total newcomer to the Call of Duty series. It is the PP9 M1 submachine gun. It's a Russian-made weapon, and it's a 9mm based weapon. It actually looks just like a handgun. If you see it, it's going to be a very small weapon, but it has a weird cylinder mounted right underneath the front of the weapon that serves two purposes. It is a actual foregrip for the weapon where you can actually hold it, and then it is also where your magazine is at. So it's probably going to have a really strange reload animation. It was actually available to be played at COD XP, but I didn't use it. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have tried it at least once, but I didn't. Your attachments for the PP9 M1 are as follows: rapid fire, suppressor, extended mags, which I think extended mags are going to be really important to this weapon because it has a huge rate of fire. So that one will probably be very used on this weapon. You have the ACOG sight, red dot sight. A thermal scope is listed for it. Why you would put a thermal scope on this weapon, I don't know, but it is on the list. Holographic, and of course the HAMR scope as well. Next up is a fan favorite from the Modern Warfare series, starting off from COD 4, right on into Modern Warfare 2, and returning from Modern Warfare 3, the P90. It is a absolutely fantastic weapon. If you've played any of those games, you already know just how good it can be with its insanely large magazine size. That is the secret for the P90. Plenty of bullets at hand, and it's essentially going to be your Modern Warfare 2 weapon returning. There may be some slight tweaks to it, but from what I can tell, you're going to have all the attachments returning to it, just like in Modern Warfare 2. And I imagine we'll get the HAMR attachment as well for it, as well as your standard silencer. That was the #1 attachment I ever used on a P90. So those will be returning. Absolutely great SMG choice. I'm going to be using it a lot. Look for lots of gameplay from me using a P90. Next, and also new to the series, is the PM9 submachine gun. And the best way I can describe this weapon is basically it is a mini Uzi on steroids. The Uzi is not returning to the Call of Duty series this year. In its place instead, we get the PM9, which is basically an Uzi at heart. If you see this gun, it looks basically just like the Uzi, with a slightly extended barrel, with a foregrip on the front, and an extended magazine out of the lower hand grip. It's going to be a late unlock. You're going to get it about level 56, so it should be a pretty good weapon. Generally, as a rule, the later you unlock a weapon, most of the time, it's a better weapon. Not always the case, but it's a general rule you can kind of follow. They don't want to give you the most powerful weapons generally, right at the lower early levels. But the PM9 looks to be a fun weapon to use. I imagine all your unlocks are going to be exactly the same as your other submachine guns. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a lot of info on this. So it remains to be seen exactly what we will have for the PM9. But anything that I would imagine you can use on a mini Uzi or the PM63 like from Black Ops, you'll probably have available on the PM9. Finally, the last weapon listed for multiplayer in Modern Warfare 3 is the H&K MP7, and this is a pretty unique submachine gun. It was actually designed because of a high amount of body armor that is in use today, so H&K decided they needed a submachine gun that could actually get the knockdown power of an assault rifle, and that is what the MP7 was created for. It actually uses a very unique type of ammunition. It has a almost completely steel jacket. It does not have very much lead on the actual projectile itself. The entire bullet is almost made of hardened steel instead of the normal soft lead or copper. But it'll be interesting to see how that translates over into the world of video games, and we'll have to see if the MP7 holds up to its reputation of being a miniature assault rifle. Generally a submachine gun is based off of a handgun in its design and ammunition. Not the case with an MP7. Like I say, it almost acts just like an assault rifle. Again, attachments, pretty sketchy. Don't have an exact list for the MP7, but I imagine it will be most everything else that was available for all the other submachine guns. Now, here's something interesting at this point. We've already talked about the confirmed submachine guns that are actually going to be in multiplayer. There are 3 other weapons that have been listed for Modern Warfare 3. That's the AK-74U, the MP5K, and the Vector. Now, all 3 of these have been confirmed in Modern Warfare 3 in some capacity, just not multiplayer. So it looks like those are going to be single-player only guns. And that's going to do it, guys. That is the list for the submachine guns for Modern Warfare 3. I hope you enjoyed it, found it informative, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.